Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wrestling Kingdom Talk Show as we are talking about UFC 328. As you can see, we have our next UFC event coming soon. I know it has been a while since the last time I've spoken to you guys or talked about UFC. I've just been busy with life, but I'm here today, and hopefully we will not only be doing this fight, this pay-per-view, but we will be hopefully doing the UFC Freedom Fights for the Washington D.C. UFC upcoming event coming soon. I think in the middle of the summer or in early summer. But anyway, here we are. We are here for supposedly as a personal rivalry and a bitter feud between none other than Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. Now, in all honesty, though, too, I mean, I've noticed that there's been some beef a little bit between them, but I did not know it was this serious. But unfortunately, it has turned serious. It was turned serious so badly that they never showed up. That they couldn't show up to the arena due to the face-off due to them actually wanting to kill each other. So I respect UFC's decision by not wanting these guys to face each other until the day of showtime. So again, that is for this Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. That fight would definitely be worth watching on Paramount Plus, so make sure you guys tune into that fight. But we got a pretty underrated card here, and they're not the only stars on this card. We have Van, if I'm not mistaken, what's his name? Van, the current flyweight champion, versus none other than Tahir, which I've heard some great reviews about. Great stuff about him. Hell of a fighter. But again, Van has managed to surprise all of us in just a short amount of time. Now, I gotta admit, though, his last fight was caused by an injury. Though, injuries happen or whatever. I can't sit here and say it counts as a defense, but all I can say is this next one could be a banger. But he's managed to impress me in just a short amount of time. I saw his first big major fight, and I gotta admit, he showed out. He showed out and deserved to be champion. So I gotta say, this was a shocking, he has showed that he definitely has what it takes to be a champion in UFC. So I'm interested to see how he's going to fare up against Mr. Tara himself. But, Anyway, we have Volkov versus Acosta. I feel like I've heard of Acosta before, but unfortunately he's not in the game, so we cannot play as him. But Volkov, I've seen him before. He's a great fighter in general. Same for, I think, Acosta, if I'm not mistaken. As you can see, I did write my results on these fights. So we'll go over them slowly, but let's go over this one. We also have Buckley returning versus Mr. Brady. I don't know what his first name is, but we'll probably get to them in a bit. And we have King Green versus none other than the legend and veteran in UFC, Mr. Jeremy Stevens. I don't know if he's been hurt or whatever, or he took a massive break after one of his fights, but he has returned to UFC to challenge King Green, supposedly. And King Green himself, matter of fact, let's look at the results. So, Mr. King Green, Mr. Stevens, King Green had 2 wins in his last 5 fights, 2 wins, 2 losses, and a win before this upcoming fight. While Jeremy Stevens, it looks like he didn't have a very good streak in his last 5 fights. He has 2 losses, 1 win in the 3rd fight, and then 2 losses once again. So, man, it looks like he probably might be coming back. So, yeah, he needs the win for sure. You know what? Let's go to this match. I chose Green just because I feel like that Stevens hasn't been in the octagon probably in a while, and he's trying to get back in. So I feel like that Green definitely has some experience, and he's done more. Honestly, he's more solid than Stevens did. But who knows? Maybe Stevens, again, he's a veteran at the end of the day. He can definitely surprise us. So I think that Stevens will unfortunately lose, and I think this will go by decision. I don't think this could be an easy fight, but again, it could be a slow fight. Round for Brady versus Buckley. Again, I've heard of Buckley, even though I gotta admit, he did lose to Usman very bad. Just dominant ground. Kamaru Usman showed that he still is one of the GOATs when it comes to the ground game, and definitely the grapple game as well, the wrestling background as well. So, yeah, he's got a lot to learn, but ever since then, he's had a 4 win streak since losing to Mr. Usman. So, yeah, he's going to this fight very strongly. Mr. Brady, however, he's done solidly though too. He only had a loss in his first beginning of the 5 streak. then 3 wins back-to-back, and then, unfortunately, another loss. But he still didn't do that bad. But I feel like Buckley is going to continue with this hot streak, and I think he's going to win by, you know what? I'm going to say by knockout. Why not? Again, this is going to be crazy, but it is what it is. Who knows, anything can happen. But we'll see what Mr. Brady is about. Well, Mr. Brady or whatever his first name will be going into this fight. Volkov versus Acosta. I think I've seen Acosta fight before. He was a good fighter. I think he fought Teixeira, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Teixeira has just been a little under the weather, or basically just hasn't been himself lately. So, again, I'm not underestimating Acosta, but I'm going to say Volkov just for the win. Let's see what the record is for that one. Volkov has only had 1 loss, which I believe that one last loss, if I'm not mistaken, was against Derek Lewis from what I remember, I believe. So he had 1 win, 1 loss, and he had 3 straight back-to-back wins. Wow, okay, Acosta has 3 wins, same amount, 3 wins, but instead it was 3 straight wins, 1 loss, but yet 1 last win before this fight. So they're going pretty even, but in general though, when it comes to wins, yeah, no, it looks like that Volkov is in the momentum, but they're both really equal, in all honesty. But I said Volkov knockout first round, just to make a guess. Van, I think this will be by decision, but this has potential. I've heard lots of great about Teixeira, or whatever his name is. I do apologize, but I've heard a lot of great stuff about him. And Van, I know for sure he can put on a hell of a show. So you know what? I put that as my fight of the night, and I think it'll win. And I think Van, however, I think will win by decision. I don't think it's going to be an easy fight, but other than to our controversial but yet interesting main event. The main event that's gonna be crazy enough for everyone. Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. In all honesty, though, I was a fan of Sean in the beginning when he was starting to rise after defeating Israel Adesanya and a few others. But I feel like his views lately have just been so off, and it's just thrown me off in all honesty. And honestly, I just don't agree with him in all honesty, because I feel like his point of view is just not right in the head. Maybe that's just his thinking or whatever. And from what I'm seeing it from my side of view, from what I'm saying, I just feel like he's just not that smart. And I feel like, again, this is just, white talk trash, But, again, I don't know what the beef with these guys are. It looks like they seem like shit has been talked back about them on both sides. I don't know who's feeling the flames, but they're coming back in tonight. Chimaev says that he was talking shit behind Sean's back after they wrestled one time, and I believe Chimaev won, while Sean, claims that, he heard the same thing similar. But we will see who is the better man out of these 2 fighters. But I believe personally that Chimaev, has just been on a hell of a roll. Then I would say Sean. But yeah, Chimaev has just been on a roll. 15-0 on a 5-winning streak. On a 15-win streak. While Sean Strickland over the last has had an even amount, 3 wins and only 2 losses in his last five fights, which is not bad. But again, I respect Sean as a fighter, but not as a person. I'm sorry, Sean, but I just gotta be honest with you with that. But I just feel like your views are wrong, my boy. But I respect you as a fighter. And hey, if Sean is able to win, great. I hope he gets knocked out, but if he does manage to win, then okay, you shut him up. You shutting him up, you shutting me up. Anyway, I don't think that's gonna change my view about him, about what I think about him as a person. But as a fighter, yeah, you know what? He shut it up. He shut every doubter up. Cool on him. But when it comes to, I've been a big fan of Chimaev, not only because he knows how to do grappling, but he is also a very good striker as well. But I do think that the grappling, the wrestling will definitely try to come into play in this match, even though there's been rarely a few people that have been able to take Sean to the ground as much. But yeah, he's got really good defense. But in general, this could be a very interesting and brutal fight. But we gotta see. But I chose Chimaev. I personally believe will ground and pound him, knockout. It'll be unconscious for 3 rounds. I believe that Chimaev will. I chose to be at least even with this. That he'll knock him out in the 3rd round. So we'll see what happens to that though. But there's also been other news I want to share with you guys as well, as we are going to start with, you know what, yeah, let's start with King Green. And so I got to go welterweight, lightweight, flyweight, and middleweight. Okay. Yeah, so in regards to whatchamacallit, other fighting news as well, there's been a lot of talk, a few talks about the controversy between, where are we going to be, I believe, are we going to go to Abu Dhabi or whatever, I don't even know. I will say this, I hope that they add more arenas, because, yeah, I hope that they add more arenas to the UFC, because I think that's the only thing I would like more arenas. So for UFC 6 guys, if you are watching, which I did see the trailer, shout out to UFC 6, I can't wait to get it when I can, but I need more arenas. That's the only thing I would like to say. But other than that, hey, UFC 6 has so much potential. The only thing I did not like about UFC 5 was just the complex. I feel like that I gotta work on the grappling mechanics, because I feel like it's hard. It's hard, and it is complex, but it's just, I like the design of it, but it's very hard to, especially when it comes to them countering your grappling, or trying to reverse your, you know, their move when they grapple, you know, when they try to block you, it's very easy for them to just, you know, shut it down, you know. So yeah, I feel like that's the only thing that they need to work on. But other than that, yeah, no, I got really no issue with UFC 5. It's definitely a great game. Do I think it was better than UFC 4? UFC 4 or 3? I don't think. Yeah, no, I feel like it was pretty even. I still think that UFC 3, I think, takes the cake right now. But yeah, no, I think this was the same level as UFC 4, in my personal opinion. But anyway, but yeah, so regarding news, regarding, let's go to, lightweight. Where is this guy? Regarding news regarding the Mayweather and Pacquiao fight. Now, there's been rarely talk about this, but it looks like that I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with the negotiations or whatever. But again, Floyd Mayweather wanted to stop this fight becoming a real legitimate fight, tying to his record, but instead wanted to make this an exhibition fight, which tells me it's like, honestly, at this point with me, I don't really care about Floyd Mayweather anymore. I feel like that he's done, he's the past at this point. Why is he still fighting? And, you know, there's been a lot of rumors going around about him possibly being broke because of the lavish spending and everything, which, you know, I feel like at the same time, you know, who knows how much he spends a night. I hear that he spends $1 million. I hear, you know, a whole lot of other stuff, other numbers, crazy numbers. But at the same time, it's like he made multi-million-dollar fights. I highly doubt that, even though I do think he spends lavishly at the end of the day, it's the lifestyle, you know, I do think that he still got some money. He's still got a lot of money, especially for what he's done with those exhibition fights. Oh, absolutely. He has enough money to probably last him a lifetime, even though 50 Cent's making fun of it. Which, hey, don't blame him, though. But, wait, what am I doing? All fighters. Okay, sorry. But yeah, in general, with him and Pacquiao, I think that, I gotta be honest, all due respect to Floyd, even though I am a fan of Floyd, I'm a fan of Pacquiao too, big fan of Pacquiao. But in all honesty, though, I do think that he's scared of Pacquiao. Pacquiao was able to take to the limit against Mario Barrios, if that's his real name. That's his name, the fighter he last fought. He took him to the limit, and he's fighting a current champion who is younger than him by many years. And he still took him to his limit. I believe it was a draw, if I'm not mistaken. Or if it was, I think... No, it was a draw. It was a draw, if I'm not mistaken. So, the fact that it was a draw, and he's still going at the age of at 50, at early to mid-50s, it's just insane. Nobody does that. Nobody gets into shape like Pacquiao. But anyway, Jeremy Stevens, we're looking for. Jeremy, where are you? But yeah, I think in general Floyd is scared because it's like he doesn't want this to become a real fight, because if he knows he does, maybe he is scared of lose the title. And he knows he's getting old too. But at the same time, though, I don't think he needs the money, but I think, yeah, most athletes are not willing to let go of what they love, because that's what's inside of them. That's what, they were born to, do. But, it all depends on, how long do they want to do this for. And, we got to wait and see. But in general, though, the fight is for the Sphere, and I've seen the Sphere in the UFC arena when Marab and Sean O'Malley fought. And again, that was a great arena, and that'll be one hell of an arena for the fight, though, too. But again, and I think I hear this right, though, that the negotiations are still in works and that they are officially selling it as well. So we'll wait and see. So again, 38, 39. Oh, they're a year apart. 34 wins for King Green, 17 losses. Oh, here we go. Let's see who wins. I think I said that this match will be King Green by decision. But yeah, in general, I think that it's a very interesting, but it's kind of like a bullshit situation. It's like at the same time, though, I don't really care about Floyd, and I hear that, he's in rumors to be fighting Mike Tyson, which is like, bro, we already know, bro. If you don't tell me that is a scam of a fight, I don't even know what to tell ya, bro. All respect to them, because they're legends at the end of the day, and I like Mike, for sure. He's a funny and cool guy from what I've seen, and his view around people and everything. I watched some of his interviews. Great interview guy as well. It looks like he stopped interviewing, though, but I don't know if he's taking a break or if he's fully done with his hot boxing podcast. But I did watch a few of his episodes. Pretty good episodes. But yeah, him fighting Floyd is just a waste of time at this point. They're both old. Nobody, I think, cares to see them. Oh, wait, I just want to make sure it was the right... fuck. I put the wrong settings. Because I was trying to make this more... Actually, wait, let me see if they were in the right settings. Okay. Game style. Stand and bang. Competitive. Legendary. Competitive. Legendary. Okay, now let's try this again. Ah, shit. Now let's try this again. But yeah, no, in general, I just feel like that fight is bullshit. So I hope that fight is canceled, because if that fight is honestly announced, bro, that is just a money grab for the fans to just buy or just watch. But yeah, I don't even want to know. But if supposedly Mike knocks him out, I'ma laugh. But it's like, bro, it's like bullshit. Like, come on. That is a money grab right there. That will be the easiest money grab for everyone to watch, honestly. I feel like that's a waste of time. In all honesty, that's a waste of time for both sides. Wait, what? Oh. I put Jeremy Stevens. Back? Okay. But yeah, no, I feel like, yeah, that's stupid and pointless, but for Pacquiao and Mayweather, I can see that, because at least they're around the same age group, you know what I mean? Pacquiao looks like he can still do it. But Floyd, I don't know, I mean, he really hasn't fought boxers like that in a while. He fought Gotti Jr., the former John Gotti's grandson, if I'm not mistaken, who's also got into boxing, but I can't really call him a boxer, because where has his career been? No offense to Mr. Gotti or whatever, but I haven't seen him do nothing in a while since he last fought Mayweather. But hey, that's just me. But yeah, regarding Mayweather, he hasn't really fought no legit fighter since. So with at least Pacquiao, he fought a world champion of a division. So yeah, I don't know. But again, we gotta wait and see. But in all honesty, I just don't care about this. Going to the next topic. The last UFC fight between Jari and Mr. Oberg, man. That fight was interesting, but at the same time, Jari got caught off guard. And then, he claimed that, I showed mercy, this and that, Maybe he did. Maybe he did. You know, because I think he's a humble guy, for sure. He's definitely a humble guy. He's taken some big losses, but he's also taken some pretty interesting good wins. But in general, though, too, again, of course, Mr. Oberg, you know, said that he's making excuses, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, shit, okay. We got an interesting little rivalry here. So I am interested to see if that'll be the rematch. I believe that was the crowning of the light heavyweight title, light heavyweight championship. So shout out to Mr. Carlos Oberg, if that's his real name. I do apologize if I got it wrong, but shout out to him. He definitely showed that against a prominent athlete in Mr. Jari, the samurai himself. But yeah, no, a lot of interesting fights are coming, especially to Jake Paul's MMA promotion. Will be starting their first ever UFC style or MMA style, you know, run with MVP Promotions. Oh, what a head kick! Oh, another head kick. But yeah, in general, yeah, I'm excited for that show. I'm gonna be honest. Even though in general, I really don't like Jake Paul as a fighter. Oh, what a jab! Even though I don't like Jake Paul as a fighter, you know, I gotta give him credit. He's a hell of a promoter. I'll give him that. Even though I don't like him as a person either with his views and bullshit. He can promote a hell of a thing. So, a hell of a show. So, I gotta be honest though too. The fighter's interesting. He's got some pretty big names headlining the show. He's got Francis Ngannou, former UFC fighter, fighting some other guy. I don't know the guy's name. I do apologize. He also got the King of Violence, a BFC face right now, Mike Perry, versus none other than Nate Diaz, who is the real BMF. That's going to be an interesting fight. But in all honesty, Nate Diaz hasn't fought nobody big in a while. In all honesty, though, too, him and Jake Paul's fight was a joke. In all honesty, but you know what? I got to be honest. He needs to stay in MMA. Don't go to boxing again, because bro had one of the most awkwardest boxing fights. So I do hope he doesn't go into boxing. He should stay to, you know, what he's good at. Oh, trying to go for a submission. This was a pretty dominant round. Still pretty even, a little back and forth, but I think I'm gonna go Stevens won this one. Yeah, I think Stevens won this round. He just hit a lot more strikes. But again, but so far in this, I'm just simping the fight. But so far, yeah, this can go either way going to this next round, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, and here we go. We're round number 2. But anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, regarding Mike Perry versus Nate Diaz, I gotta be honest, I think I'm gonna go Mike Perry in this fight, because I feel like he's just got the momentum. And he's better with his hands than I think Nate is, in all honesty. So I'm gonna go with Mike Perry in this fight. And the main event is a pretty interesting one. Ronda Rousey taking on none other than Chino Carrasco, the former girl from Deadpool, the ones that played the villain, that played in Deadpool. She also played in The Mandalorian for a little while, but before she got canceled for, I believe, some Jewish comments against Judaism or something like that. I don't know. But, yeah, so apparently she's going to be on the show. She is a former MMA fighter, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know if she was professional or not. But I know she was a big MMA fighter for a while. Well, we already know the history of Ronda Rousey, you know. One of the greatest UFC fighters, women's fighters of all time. You know, I'm not going to doubt her. Even though right now I haven't been really big on her thoughts about wrestling, because, honestly, she failed. Oh, straight jab to the knockdown. As round number 2 continues to come out. But yeah, in all honesty though too, I have not been liking Ronda Rousey's views regarding wrestling. I feel like she's just wrong, and she's just mad because she couldn't succeed in wrestling, in pro wrestling, in all honesty. So again, that was her mistake. She did that to herself, not the other way around. So the fact that she tried to call UFC out, because basically, and I feel like, yeah, she's wrong for calling the UFC out, because basically she lost. No one forced her to lose. You lost to 2 great fighters at the end of the day. Hell, you put them over in a way. Cyborg and Amanda Nunes. You lost to Amanda Nunes too. Amanda Nunes and Holly Holm. And I think that was the end of your, contract or career with UFC. Then you went to WWE to try to supposedly come up with a success. But, oh! Jeremy Stephens! Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. Will Jeremy Stephens come back in a dominant fashion and win? Or will King Green defeat a veteran coming back? We will find out. But damn, the ground and pound was crazy. Damn, Jesus. That was just brutal. Man. Alright, we'll see. Alright, but yeah, in general, regarding those girls, in all honesty though too, I think I'm gonna go with Gina. I think she has more of a chance. But again, I don't know how long these women have been, haven't been in the MMA octagon, especially Ronda Rousey. Because, funny thing, she did compete in AEW and appeared in All Elite Wrestling not too long ago to, I guess, supposedly promote her something with Toni Storm. But that'll also depend on, will she come back to wrestling to be in AEW, which, that could be interesting, don't get me wrong. But, I'm not gonna lie. She gotta do her part right. If she doesn't do her part right, then there's no point in her being in pro wrestling anymore, because she already fucked up her opportunity to go to, to be in WWE, because she ruined that herself. She wasn't good at, wrestling over there. She did all solid, but again, she just didn't do her part well. That's just my opinion. But yeah, some people say different. I don't care. That's their opinion. What are we doing? Okay, but Brady versus Buckley. I gotta remember that. Oh shit. Brady versus Buckley. Oh my god. Yeah, I pressed it again. Brady versus Buckley. But yeah, in general, I think I'm gonna go with Gina with the win. I don't expect these girls to officially win. Maybe win by knockout, but who knows? But you know what? I'm gonna go bold. You know what? Because I feel like with the MMA sport nowadays, you gotta go bold. Maybe you could go knockout depending on the situation, but you know what? I'm gonna go bold. Gina wins by submission. By what round? I don't know, but you know what? Gina wins by submission. Let's see what happens. Let us see what happens with that. I think it was welterweight. Yes, welterweight. Welterweight. And shout out to Mr. Tony Ferguson, man. He's done so well in boxing. See, out of all the UFC fighters, Tony Ferguson has done really well in boxing. So shout out to him. Hopefully he does well. Honestly, I hope he signs to Zuffa. I'm not gonna lie, because if he signs to Zuffa, you know what? I'm gonna give him his props. Shout out to him, whatever he does. Where is this guy? Welterweight. Okay, that's Kamaru Usman. Is he even in here? He's gotta be in here. Oh, there he is. Buckley and Brady. Yes, Buckley and Brady, wherever he is. Oh, there he is, Sean Brady. Okay. Okay. But yeah, like I said, I believe with this one, I think I said this will be won by Brady by knockout in the second round, let's just say. 31, 33, okay, same age group, 21 wins, 7 losses, 18 wins, 2 losses. Okay, great records. But yeah, regarding boxing, I did recently watch Tyson Fury's big upcoming fight, last fight against this other guy, this monster of a man who did solid against Tyson. But again, Tyson shows once again that he can still hang with this generation and still get great defense and offense in this fight. But don't get me wrong, the monster definitely landed some big shots, but I feel like in the end, Tyson Fury was just very strong in this fight. But I gotta be honest though, and hopefully some people will agree with me with this or not. Let's see how this goes. But in general, in all honesty, boxing promoters and referees, boxing owners, officiates, or whatever, executives, I want you guys to hear my words regarding this, what I'm about to say. We gotta put a limit on hugging. I'm sorry. We gotta stop with the hugging. The hugging has just gotten too out of control. So I think that there needs to be, because hugging is a part of boxing. You want to make sure you can't hurt yourself or get knocked out. I understand that. But when you're hugging throughout the entire match, it doesn't excite me. It doesn't interest me. So we gotta find a way to limit hugging throughout the entire match. You know what? I'm willing to bet this. You know what? For each round, for each round, there can only be 3 hugs. After that, no more hugging. Because I'm getting sick and tired of the hugging. People are afraid to get knocked out at this point in boxing. And I feel like Zuffa, hopefully they've been limiting that, in all honesty. So I feel like that there needs to be a way to stop hugging. Because I feel like I'm getting bored of the fights every time because of hugging. Because people are scared to get knocked out. If you're afraid to get knocked out, dodge, motherfucker, dodge. Because I'm getting sick and tired of it. How long are we going to continue with this hugging ass boxing? Because I'm done with people hugging. Boxers hugging. That's got to stop. Or at least be limited. At least. Because I'm sick and tired of the hugging. So hopefully we get through that. But I will say this, then Tyson Fury again made a dominant performance against his opponent. He showed out. But an interesting, and finally, I hope we get this. It is finally decided that we will finally be getting Anthony Joshua returning after his fight with Jake Paul, but also his friends passing away. Shout out to him and hopefully the families of his friends. Hopefully they're okay, or at least mourning well, Sorry about that, but yeah, no, we are eventually getting the Battle of Britain, which that's going to be the biggest fight in British boxing history and possibly boxing history in general. Because in general, Anthony Joshua for me has been a good but mixed bag in general. Because when it's come to some big fights, he has, or some fights that might have been at least a little downgrade for him or not, he has lost to this one. But I'll give him this though. He for sure avenged the boxing spirit when he knocked out that fake motherfucker in Jake Paul. Oh my god, what a nice combination. Wow, what a knockdown before the end of the round. What a knockdown before the end of the round. But yeah, no, I'm glad he finally avenged the boxing spirit by knocking out Jake Paul. Honestly, again, that was a big mistake by Jake Paul either way. Again, I really believed that was going to be a scam going into the fight, but you know what? I was wrong, and Anthony Joshua showed that when you fight a real fighter, you about to get knocked out for real. You're not going to be protected anymore. So yeah, I'm glad that he did that, and I'm excited. So you know what? I'm interested to see how him and Tyson Fury are gonna do this fight. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be very interested in that fight. So we'll see what happens with that. It is set and confirmed, but we don't know the date. So it could happen, I believe, at the end of this year, or maybe going into next year. Who knows? Maybe they want to set this up for the summer. Who knows? But I think it probably might be the end of the year. Because again, with some of these boxing events, they take a very long time to be made. So I predict by at least the end of the year. But who knows? But we'll see what happens with that. Whew. Whatchamacallit? What events could we talk about? I've been watching a lot of Zuffa boxing. Pretty good fighters, pretty good boxing. Again, with Zuffa boxing, I've been enjoying the fights. I've been really enjoying the fights lately. Now, there's been a lot of critics about Zuffa boxing, especially with the policies, according to the Muhammad Ali Act, that, the Prince and, TKO and Dana White have been doing. Now, in all honesty, though, I do not respect TKO for what they're doing on the WWE side. So fuck them when it comes to the WWE side, because they're just doing a horrendous job with their contracts and talents, and they're disrespecting their talents and being ungrateful for their talents regarding the WWE side. Now, for the boxing side, I can't say that yet, because I feel like right now they're doing really good with the boxing side. So unless I see something different, then we'll see what happens, because they're supposed to be doing this. Oh, what a good uppercut! What a good uppercut. Man, that was I think Brady definitely won that first round though, but it looks like we're finally getting some fight in Buckley. Oh, good takedown. Oh, but he got back up. But yeah, in general though too, Yeah, with Zuffa or whatever, there's supposed to be talks of this Ali Act. Now some fighting promotions, especially Mr. Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya, is saying that they're trying to make UFC. They're trying to Zuffa. Allegedly, they're not being paid. Where there's been a long talk of the UFC for a very long time at this point. I've been hearing this almost every year that UFC is not paying their talent enough or well. Supposedly, that is the supposed rumor, and I can't sit here and say that that if they're true or not, because right now they're nothing but rumors until facts and proof are shown. But again, they're saying that they're trying to do the same thing for Zuffa, and how that the fighters' pay will not be enough for them. So they're supposedly trying to pass this bill though with other fighters to make sure that they succeed or whatever the case is. But with this, and I gotta be honest though, in all honesty though too with this, and I gotta be truthful, you boxing owners or executives in the US have not done your jobs properly. You have allowed a foreigner who has cared more for boxing than you guys ever did, because you guys don't know how to promote your young talent. Now some stars you have been able to build in just a few years. Sure, you have. But in general, the United States Boxing Commission or whatever, or the owners or whatever, or the companies, are the reason why boxing has been, declined over the years. It's not because of Zuffa. For right now, Zuffa has been, in my opinion, reviving the boxing scene. They're at least building contenders. I have not seen not a single bad match from, in my opinion, in Zuffa. Now, there's probably some that I've probably missed or been okay, but have they been bad? No, because I feel like they've been trying. They're getting contenders that are willing to not be scared of getting knocked out, not scared to fight. Nowadays, with this boxing, I feel like that boxing has become a sport now where people are scared to get knocked out. Instead, you guys should be dodging, not hugging. Because I feel like this is what boxing has become too much hugging and all about the money, nothing more. And that's what some of these fighters are getting millions of dollars to just nothing, not even give the fans what they want. A true entertaining fight. Oh, what a surprise shot. But yeah, it's ridiculous. So I think they need to do better. So you guys are stopping a bill. Okay, try. But we'll see how it turns out though. And if you're trying to stop the bill, then that's bad for everyone. But in all honesty though too, you guys gotta step up though too. If you want me to at least change my mind or say that, hey, you guys are at least equal to Zuffa right now, then you guys gotta do better. You guys. Not the fighters. Well, the fighters too, but you guys gotta do better with your decision making when it comes to your fighters or whatever else. Because honestly though, it just has not been working for a long time. And it has taken a foreigner, Mr. Turkey, alias Shah, I think hopefully I'm saying it right. I do apologize if I'm not. But Mr. Turkey, to do it right, to get it right, to build the best cards in boxing history. So in all honesty though, you guys gotta get your act together. If you're not gonna get your act together, then maybe you guys should look at yourselves as the reason for why boxing is not doing as great as it used to be. But slowly starting to come back. I will start to say that. Probably because of Mr. Turkey and Mr. Dana White, in all honesty. But yeah, I've been hearing that there's been a lot of people criticizing the Conor Ben cut. Why? Because he's making a lot. Why? Because he's making a lot of money than you? Is that it? Why? And for the haters, suck it up. Either that or do better. Do better in fighting. You do better in fighting, you're going to get probably a better pay. But, oh, man. I got to admit, this is probably a tie, though. This is probably a tie. Round 2, maybe Buckley won that round. I don't know. Oh, but yeah, listen, I'm going to go get my dinner real quick. I'll be right back. Then we'll talk a little bit about some other stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges score the contest 29-28. Declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Sean Brady!
But yeah, no, in general, boxing has to do better. The American boxing must do better for boxing to succeed in America. What's the next fight? Because I know we can't do Volkov versus Acosta, unfortunately, because there is no Acosta. So, Van and Teixeira, right? I believe this is for the flyweight title. Yes, it is. Fight now. And I believe I said for this fight though too, competitive. Flyweight. What is another thing we can talk about? Oh, yes, we could talk about. So there are supposed rumors, right, that Conor McGregor is planning to officially confirm his fight for International Fight Week against Charles Oliveira. Which, if that happens, that will definitely be a must-watch fight. Hands down. Must-watch fight. But, no, there's no but. But, yeah, I'm interested to see what the rest of that card is also going to look like. 1,000%. That is him. Okay. Wait, did I put fight? Oh, yeah, I put championship. So, yeah. I'm interested to see how that fight's going to turn out, even though this is for the BMF title. Again, Charles Oliveira was definitely criticized for his BMF win, even though he had a very dominant run on the ground. It just wasn't really Max Holloway's night, and sometimes that happens though too. But again, a lot of people were disappointed because it wasn't a stand and bang. It wasn't a ground. It wasn't an even or a real fight, as some people have said. But in all honesty, though, I've been a very big fan of Charles Oliveira for a while, and he let all the doubters be shut. He finally came back a champion. And what did everybody do? Criticize, because he couldn't fight. Even though he definitely can strike with the best. He definitely can submit with the best. But to be honest, though, I disagree. This was a dominant fight. Now, to be honest, if people didn't do nothing with Max Oliveira, then I would have been having a different opinion. I would have said that, I gotta be honest, it sucked. But it didn't. It was just a dominant fight, and Max Holloway couldn't really do nothing about it. But it is what it is. But again, a lot of people criticize. Nate Diaz honestly shouldn't have criticized, because that man hasn't done nothing in a while. I like Nate, but not a big fan of Nate like that, but I like Nate. But in all honesty, he shouldn't be saying nothing, especially since he hasn't fought real competition in a very long time. So when he gets back in the octagon against Mike Perry, I expect him to try to knock him out. I expect him to show that he's still one of the best. But if he loses, then I'm going to sit here and say that, yeah, you should keep your mouth shut. You should keep your fucking mouth shut. But, yeah, we'll see what happens with that fight. But, yeah, he definitely made a big talk. Conor McGregor definitely made a big talk. Again, Conor McGregor is more of a knockout specialist. Or a grounded power specialist. Not really much of a submission specialist, especially the what happened with Khabib and everything. But yeah, no, in general though, he says he deserves to be the true BMF champion. I love Notorious. I love Conor McGregor. Been a big fan of him ever since. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But again, I hope he just doesn't, get caught with anything, But yeah, we'll see what happens with that though. But yeah, I'm very interested if this is happening on that International Fight Week, and yeah, I'm down for what that card is going to look like. I do hope that Conor McGregor eventually gets his rematch with Michael Chandler. Eventually, which, you know, hopefully he does, but, you know, we got to wait and see, you know. But yeah, let's talk until, you know, whatever else. But yeah, we'll see. But hold on, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get myself some water while we play the intros for the Fight Week Championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time! 5 rounds for the UFC Flyweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, presenting the challenger, Katsura Taira. And now, introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC Flyweight Champion of the World, Joshua the Fearless. Ready, fight. Ready. Go.
But yeah, you know, we'll see what happens at International Fight Week. But yeah, here we are, 5 rounds. I said this might be the fight of the night, but who knows? Maybe I could be wrong. Oh my gosh, the fight getting done early. Okay, that was close. But yeah, what other fight days we have? So yeah, so the concept for the, you know, UFC Freedom Fighters fights have been officially done. I gotta admit, you know, as much as it's not personally at my favorite place where a certain someone is there, I gotta admit, the fight arena looks good. So I'm interested to see when they're gonna introduce that to UFC 6 in general. So yeah, I'm excited for that though as well. What else? I've been seeing that Ryan Garcia's starting a kick channel or whatever. I gotta admit, he's been very popular lately on there. Again, a lot of people are, you know, getting into streaming and podcasting, which is good now because it's at least something else you're doing if you're retired, especially as an athlete who gets, you know, hurt for a living. You know, too, right? So yeah, what's another thing? I wanted to say something though too. I just forgot what. But yeah, no, another thing I want to talk about though too though. I love Torpia, and he's got an interesting fight against Mr. Justin Gaethje though too. But he gotta respect Patty, man. Sure, he lost big against Gaethje, but he gave one of the best fights of last year. You cannot deny that. Please don't deny that, bro. You gotta stop with the hate, man. I love you, Torpia, but you gotta stop the hate. Now, sure, you've knocked out legends. You've knocked out great fighters. Absolutely. No question or doubt about it. But you gotta be too humble. You don't want to be too cocky going into the fight if you do fight him one day and then you get knocked out for it. So, yeah, I hope he takes that with a grain of salt. But all up to him, though. I do love Torpia. I do love Patty. I love Patty so much. Ah, my man, Shaggy Patty. Nah, I'm just playing. But yeah, no, all of them, though. I love those guys. Man, it was a close fight. He almost got knocked out. And tapped out. Crazy. But, see what happens with that. What's another thing? Other fight notes. You know what? I'm gonna say this though here though too. Let's talk about a little bit about the wrestling aspect. With WWE's TKO decision making regarding WWE, I have not liked it. I have not respected it because I feel like they are corrupting the fans and corrupting the talent to get 50% off cuts of their paycheck, which is absolutely ridiculous. I do understand to a little bit of some point that sometimes it is business, but at the same time, you're taking the food out of some people's mouths. Oh, knockout? That's what I'm talking about with them. You can surprise you at any moment. But yeah, no, yeah, it's ridiculous how TKO has been treating the WWE superstars, staff, and the WWE company itself, because it's just been corrupted now more than ever. Yeah, I feel like it's just taking over, and WrestleMania was alright. You had an amazing main event to end off the show. But in all honesty, though, too, you fought so many unnecessary commercials and shortened the matches that, again, it has not felt like Mania. WrestleMania did not feel like WrestleMania this year. It felt like a regular show, regular pay-per-view. When I mean the regular pay-per-views, like Backlash or, like a mini pay-per-view special show. Nothing else. It did not feel special. WrestleMania is supposed to be the showcase of the Immortals, the show of shows, the biggest stage of wrestlers ever, and it was treated as a mini pay-per-view, nothing special. I would say that the main event of night 2, however, was very special. That was really the only match that really, with a few others, but that match was really the only true, main event of the shows. But yeah, no, it was just straight ridiculousness. It was one of the worst Manias probably I've ever seen since 35, in all honesty. 35 and 34, but I think, 35, I think was definitely one of the worst. But, yeah, no, I gotta be honest. If this is the direction that WWE is going to continue to go with TKO, it's not going to look good for the WWE's morality at this point. There's some fans that say, oh, we want Vince back. To a degree, maybe I do want a little bit of Vince back. But, as a business aspect, not in creative. He comes back, stay out of creative. Because you don't know what works in this generation. All due respect to Vince. But also I did look at the Hulk Hogan documentary. It's an alright documentary, even though I feel like, Hogan just made me sad because of him professing to be a racist and too. Which he did say that he supposedly regrets over and over again. But I feel like his apology doesn't feel sincere, and it doesn't feel sincere. It was like, okay, I apologize, I regret it, but that's about it, And I heard the story about, Devon's story, Devon Dudley, and him saying that, Holy hurt me, man. You really hurt me. You really hurt me. And, yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm not that person. And then, he did say also that, I said that, or I'm brought about what my upbringing was, and unfortunately, his mom and dad, but I think his dad was in the rough. I said that about black people, or brown people. But yeah. I was a fan of Hulk Hogan at one time. Then, when that tragic footage was shown, my heart, my head, disbelief. To think that he can be forgiven. I'm learning that sometimes maybe we could be forgiven for saying some things like that, if you really are sincere. But if you're not, then you're not, and I don't forgive you for that. Honestly. But yeah, I don't really, yeah, it's sad. Now in a way for him, like his legacy is tainted because of the comments he has made. Because of what he's done. But, this has been a really ground space fight. And they do good shit. That's good. Yeah, good most of the fight. I might as well say, what should I watch for the UFC, bro? It's UFC. I would say probably two things. Maybe. Yeah, two things. I want better grappling control, better grappling system. Meaning make counters easy. I have new arenas. Definitely would like to have new arenas because I feel like the arenas are good. Don't get me wrong. Especially I'm glad they added the Sphere Arena, which I hope that returns. I like the Sphere Arena, but at the same time though, yeah, the only thing I didn't like was the grappling system this year and just the arenas. Yeah, I hope that they add more arenas in the future. But we'll see what happens with that. Other than that, no issues, you know. The past was pretty good. Some good fighters. I hope they add more. And I hope that they add the correct amount of fighters that are on the roster. But we'll wait and see how much. That's really the only thing. But yeah, other than that, I'm excited to go. Oh! I've been hearing that the power stock has been doing pretty solid. Nothing crazy, but I've been hearing it's doing very well. Oh, very nice dodge. Jake Hager, aka Jack Swagger, former WWE star, was recently at Power Slap, and he's but yeah, he showed that maybe he can be successful. What? I'll wait and see how he does. I just hope that those guys have got good healthcare. I feel like it's easier to say that to have good healthcare for regular UFC, but these one-shotted hockey knockouts, I just hope that it's more than enough. Because some of the ads, the results I see about people getting knocked out in Power Slap, God Almighty. I hope they're okay.
You need to fight back!
Anyway, ooh, Oh, my God, this guy is dominant. Oh, wow. Oh, my Jesus. I gotta admit, they do the blood graphics really well in this game. I'll give them that. And I'm glad they fixed the referee stoppages. Because I feel like the referee stoppages be doing a little too much. It was definitely too much in the beginning. Luckily, they chilled out with them. So, as long as that stays the same in UFC 6, I ain't got no problem. But damn, oh damn, my boy. Oh, yeah, see what I'm talking about? He hurt. That boy is hurt. And we are on the 5th and final round. God, it's almost close to the decision, like I said. So, apparently, I was wrong. So Jeremy Stephens won by knockout in the second round. I believe Brady won. Brady won by decision. None of my fighters have won so far. Yeah, Brady won by decision. And now we are on the final round. And so that my boy Teixeira is winning by decision. Man. The AIs might not love me after all. So look at this. Oh my God, it probably might be over. Submission? Oh no, maybe not. I think I'm hearing they're adding voice messages back. I mean, voice chat. Okay, cool. Great. Because I'm interested to see how the kids are going to be this time. And some men do that. And some men do like hit like kids. But anyway. Oh. Jesus Christ. But yeah. Man, this has just been a bloody ass fight. Bloody and brutal ground. So I have not been right in any of them. But, however, I was right about this because... Oh, he's tapping out! In the last few seconds of the 5th round, but either way, I thought that I was going to decision win, but anyway. Tahir submits Van, and could we possibly be getting a new champion going into this Saturday night? Bobby, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called us out for this contest at 4 minutes, 47 seconds of round number 5. Declaring the winner by tap out due to a Darce choke and undisputed.
Let's see if this comes true Saturday night.
Champion of the world,
Oh yeah, one last thing, and finally, Carlos Prates had a very dominant fight against Mr. Jack Mella. Sorry, Jack Della. Very dominant fight. Knocked him out by TKO. Oh, she had a really good dinner. And now it's our intriguing but interesting main event. But it is not for a title. It is a grudge match. It is middleweight. Yep, middleweight. It is Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. Is it one time? Oh shit. I don't know if it is for now, but you know what, whatever. But in general though too, I'm glad that Champa, aka Mr. Alex Pereira, is the face of UFC 7. Shout out, he deserved it. He's definitely one of the fighters of last year. Max Holloway was a little shocking. But am I mad? No. Yeah, he was he had a good picture. And he had definitely I think he definitely had one of the moments of last year, which I knocked out with just in But in general, who do I wanted? I gotta admit, either Tortilla or Patty was definitely one of the faces of last. Was definitely the faces of last year. So I think I would have liked Tortilla. But I think maybe next year. Who knows? But yeah, I did like this one. I didn't mind both of them. All up. But yeah, I'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time! 5 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, presenting the former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Sean Strickland! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, comes at Chimaev! You ready to fight? Ready. Let's do it.
Ooh, I saw that knee strike. Anyway, my predictions for this fight, you know what? I'm going both. Kazmat knocks out Sean Strickland, 3rd round. This is my predictions. But we will see what happens in the real fight. Like I said before, if Strickland wins, I'm not mad of him as a fighter. You know, I don't care about him as a person, but Yeah, I have no doubt this will definitely be 100% ground based. Whew. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, we'll see what happens as this is 5 rounds. I don't know if this is for the chimeev or not. I thought that Chimaev wasn't champion. Maybe he is. I'm not mad, but either way, well, let's see what happens if it's for the title or not. I'm trying to think about what other events I'm fighting. Oh yeah, shout out to Brock Lesnar for retiring, former UFC legend and Hall of Famer in WWE. Shout out to him. Hopefully he has a great career. Yeah, man, it was shocking that he retired at WrestleMania. So, shout out to him. He will always be remembered. Yeah. And I'm so glad that, for the case that he was in regarding WWE, regarding Vince, supposedly trying to be sexually, manipulated by the girl, or like, they're gonna accuse him of being, trying to assault her or whatever. I don't know about that, but I don't know if there was enough evidence to support that, but yeah, we gotta, see about that. But yeah, I don't really have nothing really else to say regarding that, but yeah. That's a wait and see. However, though, I did hear that, I saw that there were news about Vince, interested in gifts or whatever, trying to give for the girl he was dating. But yeah, no, he's he probably might be guilty for that, So yeah, that's a wait and see. But oh, good strike, another good takedown before the round ends. Here's round number 2. Oh, good takedown. Again, like I said, I'm sure that ground game is definitely 100% going to come into play. But I know for sure Chimaev can definitely strike as well. But I think, yeah, he's gonna probably knock out Sean by ground and pound. I can see that happen. But yeah, no, I heard that it was so bad that they're not gonna have a face-off. Oh, the reversal. Ooh. Oh my God! If it's as brutal as that just... Oh my God! If it's as brutal as that, man. Somebody better call 911. Well, I guess I was right about this one. From the AI standpoint, but...
Ladies
Damn.
and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 8 seconds of round number 2. Declaring the winner by knockout, Hamzat Bors Chimaev.
If he kills him like that, or another brutal way, just... This will only make sense, but turn the TV off. Turn the TV off, bro. Turn the fucking TV off. Because that was too nasty. The AI didn't gotta do Sean like that. But what's necessary? Or could it be necessary? Yeah. Yeah, it could. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to this little review for UFC 328. Thank you guys again. Shout out to the Wrestling Kingdom Talk Show, and we will see you guys next time. Make sure you tune in for more for the UFC Freedom Fights.